So last week we also learned about experiments with equally likely outcomes, and we learned about theoretical probability. That's where this formula comes in, and when we start thinking about probability as a number from 0 to 1. So an experiment with equally likely outcomes is an experiment that each option is the same, meaning, for example, we have a bag of cubes. There's 40 cubes in it. There are 10 blue cubes, 10 green cubes, 10 red cubes, 10 yellow cubes. There's 10 of each type, meaning that when I stick my hand in this bag, the probability of picking one is not greater than the other or less than. They're all the same probability because there's the same of each. That is an experiment with equally likely outcomes. If there is even, let's say, 11 blue cubes and 9 red cubes, that completely messes up the experiment and is no longer equally likely. Then we start to also think about this formula here and what it means. So this right here does not mean P times the outcome. I know that can be confusing because this is how we've seen things before with parentheses, but what this means is probability of an outcome. When you see something on the outside like this, it means probability of an outcome. So an outcome, remember, is one time, and when an experiment is equally likely, that means that it's going to be 1 over the number of possible outcomes, so 40 cubes. Because the probability of picking any of the cubes is 1 out of the 40. Then we start to think about events. An event is when we start to focus on one specific thing. So an event, again, is a collection of outcomes. It's when we start to focus on one specific thing. So, for example, if I want to focus on blue cubes out of those 40 cubes total, I'm going to put the number of possible or favorable cubes. Favorable is the thing we're looking for. The number of blue cubes is 10. And number of possible, that's going to stay the same always. So we have 40 cubes. That's the possible number of cubes. And that's going to be 40. And so our probability is 10/40 or 1/4. So I want you guys to think about, is each color equally likely to be chosen? Yes, because there are 10 blue, 10 red, 10 green, 10 yellow.